the stupid scratchy noises. And I don't hear the feedback from yours either.
Awesome. So what I'm doing is I'm just going live.
Did you talk to the
right now.
guys from Stage 10 or something, or were you just troubleshooting yourself?
No, I just literally got home and just opened up my computer when you said to give it a shot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So cool. So it looks like we are live. What we can also do is we will have a saving of this recording that we can just look at afterwards if we want to do that.
See if it like jumps around and stuff, or how the audio is working. Okay.
Yeah. Should we do like a little practice test run?
Sure. Is it pushing to YouTube right now?
It is.
It is? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Seems a lot smoother than it was yesterday.
I'm nervous that it was maybe my Wi-Fi in the office and maybe they throttle it at the end of the day. But what I could do is always just take this at my apartment because it'll be later on in the night.
Mm-hmm. It's weird though. Now, I mean, even though it's better, it's smooth. There's like a half second to a second delay between when you actually talk and what I'm hearing.
Yes, and I'm actually noticing that right now. And I think that ultimately the biggest thing that's going to matter is going to be how it looks on YouTube.
Yeah, true.
And not to get too worried about everything that's going on between like our phones and the camera and just see if it works well on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna check, see if I can pull it up on my phone just to watch and see if there is that delay too.
But I guess even if there is a delay, it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but also it's
not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world, but also it's it looks like it actually does better on YouTube.
Great.
Than our here.
It's not the end
of the world, but it looks like it does actually. Oh, cool! Yeah, it's much less of a delay, so we're cool.
Great. So do we want to do a run through right now?
Sure. You're gonna like pull up Cobra's page or something. Okay.
So let's sort of pretend like we're going live right now, and maybe what we'll do is I can almost put together like a little agenda, and let me just get a pen quick. Hold on.
Okay.
So let's say we're going live at like let's just say like 8 p.m. EST.
Okay.
The reality is we're gonna wait till like 8:05
until we actually start.
Yeah. So why don't we do at 8 o'clock? What we'll do is just like early intros, and then
early intros like introducing ourselves.
Yeah, just like, hey, Dylan had him here. We're waiting for people to join on.
Okay.
And then at 8:05, we'll do the real intros.
Nice. I feel like we should have, because like when I watch podcasts and stuff, they sort of have like an intro for their show too. It's sort of like, it's a scripted thing where it's like, welcome back to, what's the one that I watch right now? It's called, anyways, but it's like, welcome back to the photography show. Where we talk about blah, 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 blah. We're here as a resource for this. And like, you know, I feel like we should have a scripted thing that we say at the beginning of every show.
Got it. I could write something.
And that could even be that time where we wait for people, is that introduction. It's like a lead in to the show, and then it begins after that.
I think like the reality is we'll probably have like 3 or 4 people, I feel like, who are actually going to be joined in at that time. So we might as well just like save our gusto for 8:05.
Okay.
Sure. And you and I can just chat, like, what's good, man? How you doing? And then every literally 30 seconds, I'd be like, hey, guys, we're waiting until 8:05 to get started.
Sure.
So early intros and then just chat. And then real intros scripted. The scripted will figure it out, but it's well, I guess hey guys, question. I'm a very literal person, which makes me really bad at copy. Because like I want to name this show Create a Review. That's the corniest fucking name in the world. Like
it really is.
Could we just do like some kid I was talking to the other day, he's like, yeah, I'm starting a podcast called like FAQ. Obviously that's super generic, but like what's something that we could call this that would just be like easy, simple, and like cool.
I'd have to think on that a bit more. I don't know if I could come up with something off the top.
So a name. Okay.
I feel like something like 2 words, not too long. Like, I mean, it could even just be DS Talks or something like, because I mean,
it's something like cooler. Like, I think cooler and more generic. That'll just like whatever. So
something. It's gotta be something. Yeah, maybe something more creative. Like, oh, I just remember the name of the show. It's called The Candid Frame. And so something like that, almost like, because it makes sense. It's just like it's a candid. It's just a very like normal talk. You know, it's not like something that's scripted. It's I mean, could be just something like unscripted or something. You know, like generic.
Seriously,
like,
something super generic that hasn't been taken would be cool.
Yeah.
So what I guess we do is 8:05. Hey guys, so maybe we do intros first at 8:05, and then we do the scripted intro.
Okay.
So at 8:05, even if you just want to kick it off right now, like, hey guys, at 8:05, we're gonna get this going. Scott, why don't you take us away?
All right. So I'll be like, hey guys. Oh wait, are you saying that, or I'm saying like, hey guys, welcome to our talk. We'll be beginning at 8:05. We're just waiting for a few people to join on.
So I think I can do that at 8. I can handle all just like the, hey guys, we're waiting 8:05. And then when I say, hey Scott, 8:05, you're going to do your intro. I'll do my intro, and then I can go into the script. Yeah. So Scott, 8:05, why don't you give everyone a little introduction of who you are?
All right. Welcome to our talk, guys. I'm Scott Barrero. I've been a photographer for about 10 years now. I've worked with Dylan on a few projects. I need to stop saying but it's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking the first time. I can already
tell. That's why I think the real intro is the real intro. Yeah. Like who you are. Like I'm Scott Barrero. I'm a photographer. Like
I feel like that almost needs to be scripted too. Like I don't know. I don't know if we want that. Maybe even in that 5-minute period, we don't even introduce people. We have a screensaver that's just like waiting for people to fill in, because I don't want to fill that time with things that may be irrelevant or.
Sure. And I guess I don't want to put like work, but you have the asset sizes.
What?
You have the asset sizes from stage 10. So anything that you want to create, we could pop in.
Okay, cool.
So maybe it's you give your intro. I think honestly, Scott, we say, well, guys, what's up? You follow me on Instagram. I'm Scott Barrero. I'm a photographer, and we're here to have a great conversation. Cool, guys. My name is Dylan Haddam. I'm the founder of DS Projects. We're a creative agency based in New York, and here we have name of show. Together, Scott and I are going to be having conversations to help talk about creator blah 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 in the marketplace, discussing the work and discussing your actual work, and even around how to get work and the business of creating. And there's going to be an open dialogue, and what we're going to do is take a look at different photographers and creators' work throughout the show and drop our knowledge, and hopefully everyone can get some great takeaways from it.
That was perfect.
Cool. So what we're also going to do is anyone who's in the YouTube, ask any questions away, and throughout this, we could try to answer as best as we can. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to start our first review. And the first person that we want to put on the screen right here is, one sec, Sam the Cobra. So Sam sent through his work to us just the other day and wanted us to take a look at the work itself and really how he's presenting himself across social and on his website. And so, Scott, would love to just know your initial thoughts as we scroll through Sam's Instagram and just what you're seeing and if there's anything that you want me to highlight to jump into. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Wait. I messed up. Wait.
Messed up.
There you go.
Oh,
I didn't have you on
live.
No, I didn't have you on permanent audio. Now you're good.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So
I think one thing that might be kind of cool is when people submit images or they want us to review their portfolio, it might be nice for them to write a little bit about themselves so that when we do introduce, we could say, here's Sam's work. He's from, he's from New Jersey. He's currently living in Los Angeles, working as a creative director. Like to give a little bit about them, to tell them not just like, this is Sam's Instagram or whatever, so they know a little bit more who we're talking about.
Yes, agreed. So a little bio.
And we can even find some of that information, but once we check their websites and things like that. But it might be nice just to have that on hand, like for them to submit it.
Agreed.
But going back to what you had just said, the first thing that like strikes me when I look at Sam's profile is his use of light and color. I think that he has a really great eye for light, and he has a lot of creativity going on in these images. The first one, obviously, that struck my eye. I mean, at the very top, if you go back, the laptop and lens in the water, that one is just kind of like it's almost like a shocking image, because when you see these things, you really water is something that you try to keep away from these items, the technology like this. And so that, I mean, automatically evokes like an emotional response. So that's something that I think the viewer or anyone who's looking at their image, it would be interested already in this photo, whether they like it or not. It makes them think. And I think that's an important part to photography.
Totally. And is there any others that are jumping to you as I'm scrolling down here?
I mean, the guy on the wing is really creative. If you go up a little bit, we see this shot without the guy countless times on Instagram. You're flying to a new place or whatever. You're going to a new destination for work or for vacation, and you look out the window and it's got, maybe a beautiful sunset or sunrise, and you just snap a picture of the wing. But what makes it that much better is he takes it a step further and he adds someone to the wing there. It's really creative, and the way it's composed is really nice too, because it leads you in from left to right, where you look at the guy, follow the wing in, and it kind of goes back. It has this nice flow to it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest takeaways that I'm seeing from Sam's work is he seems confident, and he has his own look that isn't necessarily conventional. And I think that when I'm looking through this, some people could almost think that he's semi-joking with some of these edits, but as someone who's really reviewing photography all the time, I'm constantly trying to find people who are being creative and are doing it in a way that I can take it seriously. And so even a lot of these photos, especially right here, you have the elk going through New York City. I think this is incredible. I think it's super original. How many times have we seen this exact same shot without the reindeer in it? And the fact that he added them in and they actually look good, that really says a lot about how creative he is as a person. But
yeah, I mean, just to go off that, you can tell that he has a lot of fun with this. It's almost like he's making a joke through photography. Like he takes these very cliche shots and adds a bit of humor to them, where like, you see the Brooklyn Bridge there in, the reflection off of a lake or a river.
Oh my God, I thought that was real.
No.
And I live here.
That's not, that doesn't exist. There's things that don't exist that you would never see in your actual, like, in everyday life. Even, you know, if you're a New Yorker, and you might take that for granted. You'd be like, I don't know, you would scroll through it like you did and be like, oh, it's, I don't know, Central Park. I don't know where the hell you would even think that is, but it just is fun to it, and you can tell that he's having fun with it. And I think it's important for that to translate to your viewer, I think. And the more fun you have with photography, the better your images come out.
Totally. And I think, you know, something that I definitely look at is, of course, follower count. And for those who are just joining in, again, my name is Dylan Haddam, and I'm the founder of DS Projects. We're a creative agency based in New York, and we hire creators from all across the country to shoot content on behalf of brands. And a lot of the times, there are instances where brands are curious about photographers' follower count. Personally, that's not an end-all be-all for me when I'm hiring people. In fact, I've actually found that people with heavy followings tend to get a little cocky and ahead of themselves, and they think that they're better photographers. And that isn't the case, just so everybody understands that. But one thing that I did notice, and Scott, I'm kind of curious to hear your standpoint on this, is Sam's got a ton of followers. He's got 140,000 followers, but if you look at this first image, he actually hasn't posted in a very long time. And I see this as an opportunity for Sam to be posting more, not even as a quote unquote influencer, but because there's potentially 140,000 people that could hire him. And so as someone who has a lot of followers yourself, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on photographers who aren't actively posting as much as I think they should?
That's a great question for me to field, actually. Well, I think, you know, with any social media platform, maybe Sam has taken a step away. I think it's important in life to know when there are times to take breaks and when there are times to push yourself. And if you really are trying to push yourself and, you know, get more work, become a better photographer, I think posting on social media is something that's a very great tool to use. And not only understanding your own work, but understanding your audience and who you're catering to. So I would say if you're you're a beginning photographer, you're still learning the ropes, you're trying to, you know, draw in some attention, you don't really want to take long breaks like that. You want to keep posting. You want to post almost every day, every week, you know, at the very least, so that you can engage your audience. I think it's really important to have a presence out there, especially in all the noise that's out there these days. There are millions of, I don't know if there's millions, but there are thousands of great photographers out there who are just all like sort of not competing for the same jobs, but they're in the same space now. There's a lot of photographers on social media who are trying to get the attention of these brands and of publications. Hold on, my dog will go in the other room when we're doing this, but she's wild right now. No, I just got to clap at her and she stops. Okay. But you know, there's all these photographers who are vying for attention, and it's really important to make you know, some noise for yourself. And I hate to call it noise because, you know, you don't want to like get lost in that, but you need to have a presence. You need to be there, and that's honestly half the battle is being consistent and just being there when the opportunity arises.
Totally. And you know what's interesting is a lot of the times when we're adding people into the network of creators and photographers that we want to work with, they'll just come when I'm scrolling through Instagram and just following new accounts. And, you know, a lot of the times it could be something as simple as we're getting hired by a client and we need to work with a photographer. And I just saw a recent shoot that was posted on a photographer's feed, and I'll holler at our producers and I'll say, hey, we have someone that we think would be a great fit for this. Do you want to toss them into the mix? And so for me, it's definitely not about, hey, we have all these followers, let's use it as a influencer to get paid off of. It's more so just you have the opportunity to stay on top of a lot of people's feeds. Which kind of brings me to another point. And for everyone who's jumping in right now, Scott and I are in the middle of talking about Sam the Cobra's feed. And Scott, I'm very interested to see what Sam the Cobra's website looks like, because as much as we see what's going on Instagram, as someone who's hiring photographers, want to see sort of what's behind the curtain a little bit. And so as I load that up, curious on your take on needing a Instagram versus a website.
I think that both of them are very important. Instagram is more, public facing. It's more easily accessible. It's sort of your identity to the world. Not a lot of people are going to, make that extra click. It's only one click away, but a lot of people won't go that extra step to go to your portfolio on your website or, your website in general. But I think that the website is really important when you want to work with brands. When you want to start taking yourself more seriously as a business, your website is really, really crucial because it allows you to post things and keep things relevant. It's not getting lost in your feed. You actually have it there in front of people who may be, in the market or looking to hire a photographer or a videographer or, director, or whatever you are. That should be your biggest body of work that you want to get hired through. It shouldn't be your Instagram greatest hits. It should be something that speaks to brands and it's going to make them want to hire you.
Yeah. I have really similar sentiments where it's very difficult for me to tell a brand for a $40,000, $50,000 shoot that we have our full confidence in a photographer just off of their Instagram alone. Because the Instagram really is, to what you're saying, it's showing the highlights. And I like the highlights, but I need to also be able to see a diverse body of work. And here's another thought just to throw out there. And for those who just joined, we're now talking about photographers and creators, website versus Instagram. Scott, what I've seen is that I'm actually going to add myself back to the frame right now.
Mm-hmm.
What I've seen is photographers will professionally shoot one thing and they'll post something else. And the difficulty with that is if you're only posting landscapes and you want to become a portrait photographer, I can't hire you. And if you don't have that website that's showing the other work or it's not organized, then it makes it even more difficult. So something I want to do right now is I want to pull Sam's work up on the main feed and I want to look at something. So if everyone can sort of point their attention to the left side of the screen here, we have professional and we have personal. And I think this is really important because, again, at the end of the day, if you're a photographer trying to get brand work, a brand needs to be able to purchase your work. So is it auto? Is it beverage? Is it portrait? Fashion? You name it. And if it's not segmented in a way that's very easy to pull and send to a client, it's going to be very hard to hire you. And so, Scott, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how Sam has laid out his work here, and if you think that there's enough of a story that's being told. And if you want me to click into anything, let me know.
Yeah, I think, can you click into the professional? I think that's highlighted, or are we in professional right now? Is this the landing page?
So professional, this is actually Sam's just his front page of his website, and his professional, you have to click into an individual case study.
Okay. All right.
You want me to hop in one?
I kind of want to, because it's all about, essentially in this business, it's almost first impressions are everything. You sort of get judged off the bat, whether it's your Instagram, whether it's your landing page for your website, whether it's your appearance on set, first impressions really make a lot of difference. And I think that just looking off of his website, I feel like he can do something better with this here. I do like this. I do like these two images. The one with the boxes, I think that actually might be an Amazon ad, or that was when he moved from New York. But I only know this because I know Sam's work. I'm familiar with it. And then there's the other image, go back, where he's in the suit on the beach. If you go back there, yeah. Those two sort of speak to me from a branding standpoint. I think that there's, some creative work behind them. They're really interesting and intriguing images. But the other two, as a landing page, I don't feel like they need to be there.
Well, I think Scott, I'm sorry, I have to jump in here because what is throwing me off is you want people's work to be consistent, but the problem is this is the exact work that we just saw on his Instagram.
It's true, yeah.
And if I'm going to the website, I want to see a little bit of a different work. And
yeah,
so
you want to be surprised by something.
And I think ultimately this comes down to what work does Sam want? And without knowing what he wants, I either need to ask him or, more importantly, he needs to tell me. And he's not quite telling me what he wants to do here. So let's just click into one of these things. Let's go to Welcome to Apple.
Sure.
The Apple Instagram account on brings. So first things first is we have a spelling error here. I think this should be Instagram account brings on. Wait, Instagram account on bring shot on iPhone. I think account. There's no on should be there.
Should be there. Yeah.
Got it. So. Okay. So whoa, very interesting. What I'm actually going to do, Scott, is I'm going to remove us from the feed right now so we can give Sam a full view.
Yep.
So, launch grid, 38 iPhone photographers are organized.
Give me 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
Just give me 1 second. You are wilding in your smaller face. But that. So it's easy to teach. I know, that's cool. You want to try Netflix? Cool.
So, Scott, while you were doing that, I took a look at this, and this is actually really interesting. So we see this massive campaign for Apple, 38 iPhone photographers. There was a film. There's a lot going on here. So here's what throws me off. It doesn't say what Sam's role was outside of. Check this. Hopefully everyone can see this. Little copy.
Oh, role art director.
So,
oh my gosh.
So here's what's actually interesting is, you know, and Scott, this is why I wanted to have this conversation. This isn't just about photographers and it's not about videographers. This is about creators as a whole. People need to know what you actually did. And in this case with Sam being the art director, this is even bigger than just being a photographer in a certain capacity. He's corralling a ton of people for this massive Apple campaign. And I want to know what he did, because if I need to hire someone, I want to know what their actual role was. And so when I look at this, I think this is incredible, but what role did he play in this campaign? And a little bit more information would make me feel more comfortable to think that he wasn't just like leeching off of someone else's hard work. Curious to hear what your thoughts are.
If you go back to that page, I think that the order is really weird. If you go back to Sam's website.
Yep, 1 sec.
Cool. So I think that this order needs to be changed. So if you scroll down, I feel like the text down here needs to be brought up, or there needs to be something above these images that are at the very top.
Yeah.
If you go up, so maybe even that synopsis. Sorry, go down again one more time. Let me show you the one more. So even the 38 iPhone photographers, you move that to the top, right? Or you have another brief summary, because all he has is one line at the very top that, you know, generally says what it is. But to your point, I feel like he needs to express more of his role that he actually played in this. So I think there should be a brief synopsis or summary of what the project actually was before you start showing images or videos or anything like that. I think that you need to set people up for what they're going to expect. Because if you start going down, then you start making your own assumptions, just like, you know, you were saying, like, how much work did he actually put into this? Why is this on his website? So I think a really nice blurb, not even that, like, that line doesn't do anything for us. We need something there like, I helped to onboard, you know, Instagram, or bring Instagram into Instagram, and I did this for them, and I did that. You know, it can't just say Apple Instagram account brings Sean an iPhone to social for the first time. No one cares. That's not exciting. That no one's gonna scroll past that and be like, oh, okay, let's click a different slide.
Totally.
What he did and why he did it, and then you have more of an appreciation for what's coming next.
Totally. So I think I may be frozen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his Instagram back on the screen. I'm going to put you on it with him. And okay. Scott, final thoughts on Sam's work and how he's presenting it.
I think that his presentation, I love Sam's work. I think that Sam's work is great. It's strong. It has a lot of great contrast, colors, lighting. I think that he needs to work in the area of curation and creating a feed and a website that is more attractive to brands and more, that speaks to you. I know that Instagram can be hard, especially if people generally won't go past like one thumb scroll down your Instagram. So they'll maybe see the first like 16 images, maybe. A lot of people don't do a deep dive of your Instagram. So it's really hard to sort of curate what you would want to see brands, or what brands would want to see on top. But something that I like to do, and something I would suggest to everyone, is sort of every other image or every third image is a shot for brands. So, you know, you create content, of course, you want to create images and content, whatever you want to call it, art for yourself, right? You want to create fun images and you want to share those with the world. But if you're looking for work and you're looking to actually gain some traction in the business side of things, you need to put in, like I said, every second, every other, every third image, put in something that's going to, you know, stand out to brands. They're like, wow, this guy, you know, can really show off, I don't know, a pair of shoes, can show off an umbrella here. I don't know. Something that's going to attract their eyes rather than just your general audience for oohs and ahs and likes and things like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then for his website, I think just that landing page, like it's all about curation when it comes to you know, your website and your Instagram, and whether, you know, you're going to get traction. I think that maybe even one image alone, there's 4 images and it's sort of spread up. It's kind of scattered. I think that just putting one standalone image is so much stronger than having those 4 images there. So my final thoughts are literally just curate his feed better, curate the visual experience that we're going to be going through, so that he can get more work and sort of attract a wider audience, including brands.
Yeah, and I love that. And ultimately, Sam's work is top notch. I would feel comfortable having Sam on set with any client that I'm working with. And now that we have more understanding that he's more interested in the art directing component rather than the photography component, then I would like to know more of his role. And what is he doing and what is he bringing to the table, and how can he help better sell his work into me so I feel more confident selling his work into the brand.
Yep.
And that's it. But this is incredible stuff. It really is. Sam, great work. Keep it up. And if you ever need a job in art direction, let me know.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Cool.
Boom. Nice. That was good. That was almost 30 minutes on one person. So
so we have to cut everything we say in half.
Yeah.
There needs to be more going back between you and I, but that was awesome.
No, that was really good. I think that once you start going, it just comes naturally. Like it was really easy. Like the conversation back and forth. You know, when we're taking breaks. One thing that I would suggest for when we are doing the live stream is if anyone's not talking, don't put them on the live thing. When it's in between people, I'd rather even not show them for the first couple seconds of talking for you to put them on.
It's hard. Just so you know.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying, like, if you have to take that time to switch it, it's almost better just to have them not on there, when they're talking. Because for me, I think that if I'm watching it, I'd rather look at a screen, even over someone talking, and like show our faces, maybe half the time that they were shown.
Cool. Okay.
I think that our voices will carry it enough.
Got it. Okay. I was kind of thinking the opposite, so that's good to know, and we'll sort of get feedback from people, and I'll definitely show our faces less. That was great though.
That was, yeah. It was really easy, very natural. I think once we have people actually submitting images too, that will be nice. That will be a good like starter. So you start reviewing the images, and then you break down their Instagram. And by the time that we've gone through their images, we give it really good input, and we won't have to actually deep dive on their Instagram or website. It'll just kind of be like a brief overview of like, did it interest us? What can they fix?
What are your thoughts actually on doing the opposite of that and doing exactly what we did? Because I feel like focusing on specific pieces of work isn't modern.
I think that the people want image reviews. They want to know how they did on a specific image, because if you just talk about their overall body of work, it's great and all, but it doesn't give them anything in particular to work on. Like, it's hard to, from a photographer standpoint, like, I really know, like, I think that there's good and bad to both. Like, maybe it may, in your eyes, it may take up too much time to do single image reviews, but in my eyes, every single image is an opportunity to grow. And when you give someone feedback on, like, they submit their favorite images, when you can break down their favorite images and give them good feedback on that of work, it's gonna go a long way for them as an artist. Like, they'll take those things to heart a lot more than, oh, your portfolio needs to be organized better. When you say something like, well, this is a great image, but I think that what you can do here, and when you draw, like, because you're telling people how to create compelling images through the image review. You're not speaking to that when you're reviewing a portfolio. You're more speaking to the overall feel and who you're going to attract in your audience. So I think that there's merits to both. And so I really think we should maybe we don't do 5 images, maybe we do their 1 to 3 best, depending on like who we have, because we can talk forever. We could literally talk for an hour on one person.
I got to figure out why I'm fucking frozen.
Yeah, you've been frozen basically since you started. Yeah. But I mean, that was good. I think the only thing that we need is I would have like the YouTube running next to me with the questions, and that would actually, I mean, that would even provoke more, like, rather than us bouncing things off each other with it, which is good, but it would even give us more ammo with people throwing questions at us too. Like, I'm not even worried about filling the time space. We're at this point, we'll go over with everything.
I'm just talking to Stage 10 right now. Just had a great test run when I dial in with my phone, because I use laptop for screen share, having issues with freezing. Art word. Well, dude, this was great. I still think Thursday is too early.
I think we should still do one more practice run. So we can write the introduction. I think we should have an outro also, and then I think that's really it. And just finalizing the structure of how we're going to do it. But really, I don't think we should stress too much before our first one, because it's going to be a learning process. I think that it'll just get better and better the more we do it. We'll figure out what works, what doesn't, how to time it better, and things like that. All
right, my guy. Well, great chatting with you.
Thanks for making